Today I'm looking at a Ryobi 18-volt compact drill driver kit that I picked up at Home Depot this afternoon. This is model P1811. Normally something like this, I'll take my time and do some research before I buy, a tool or anything like this, power tool or pretty much anything. I'll usually do a little bit of research beforehand. And I wouldn't say I bought this completely on a whim. It wasn't a complete impulse buy. But I've been thinking about getting a cordless drill for a couple of weeks, but I really haven't done any research on them, at all. But I've got a project coming up that I want to use this for, and just decided to pull the trigger on this one. The price seemed reasonable, and it seems to come with a couple of batteries, which is nice, and a charger. There's a tool bag included too, but that's more of a gimmick than anything else. I'll probably end up throwing that away. Those sort of things are just usually not useful, and they don't usually influence my decision to buy anything. But this one looked pretty good, and for the price it had the two batteries, which I think will be useful. And it's not a super heavy duty unit by any means, but I'm not really doing a whole lot of heavy duty work around here anyway, so this ought to fit the bill. Hopefully it'll do just fine. Okay, I'll open the box here and see what's inside. It seems like it's taped up pretty well, so I'll just cut the tape here. And it looks like the first thing is, it looks like everything is in the handy-dandy tool bag, as you can see there. There doesn't appear to be anything else in the box, so I'll set that aside. And open up the tool bag. And you can see inside the tool bag is some cardboard that looks like it's just there to kind of stiffen everything. I don't think you'd want to leave it in there for normal use, but I'll pull this out first. This appears to be the charger. Okay, the next item up for grabs. Well, I'm going to pull the manual out here before I wrinkle it or something. So there's the manual. And then here's the drill itself, wrapped in a plastic bag for protection. I'll set that aside. And looks like these are the batteries. Okay, yep, those were held in. So with everything out of the tool bag, I think you can see in there that there are some kind of pre-made compartments, and it looks like they're stuck in there. They're sewn in. They're not Velcro or anything, so they're not adjustable or removable. Actually, it does look like this bottom part might be Velcro and removable, but yeah, it looks like that whole inside would come out actually. There's some Velcro on there, but it feels pretty tight, so I won't pull it out. Maybe this will be more useful than I thought, so we'll set that aside. Okay, so I'll pull the batteries out of here first, and you can see there's two batteries wrapped in plastic. Set the cardboard aside. And there's one of them right there. Looks pretty good. And I'll take the other one out. Okay, next I'll pull the drill out of here. And you can see it's this yellowish green color, which must be Ryobi's color. This is the first Ryobi product I've purchased, and I kind of like it. I'm partial to this color, I guess, but I also think it's great for being able to find the thing. If you've set it down somewhere, you should be able to easily see it. So when I pick this thing up, it feels reasonably heavy. It doesn't feel too cheaply made or anything. The materials all look fairly good. The handle is sort of a, I wouldn't call it a soft rubber, but it is compliant to some degree, so that'll help with grip. And there's some texture to this to help, I guess if you're holding it, it's not completely smooth in your hand. Let's see, on the back or on the top there is one of those kind of bubble level things to help you line up your shot. I don't know how useful those things really are. I don't really use them, even though my corded drill has them. And then you've got your forward and reverse switch. That feels a little loose in there, but it's working. You know, it's got a positive click there. And then, of course, I got the trigger, and that all feels pretty good. And like I said, it feels hefty, but not too heavy, so I think it'll be quite usable. And then on the top, I believe this is the speed switch. There's a high and a low speed. And then, of course, it's got the torque clutch settings here. And I believe it's got, yeah, 24 settings. And without looking at the manual or using this, I'm not sure which setting is the highest. I would assume 24 is the highest torque. And then it's got a drill mode where the clutch wouldn't slip. You know, it would just run. Okay, and then now the drill chuck, that feels okay. That feels like it's a little bit light duty. But again, this is not a heavy duty drill by any means. You can see the metal there. It just feels, I wouldn't say it feels bad by any means. It's just the plastic is a little cheap feeling. Yeah, but I think it should be fine in service. You know, there's some knurls on here. You'll be able to grip it, but it is kind of smooth where it's not knurled and just a little on the cheap side, and it feels a little bit loose, but I think that'll be okay. Okay, now I'll throw one of the batteries in and just see how it feels. The battery itself is pretty light. Of course, this is a lithium battery, so not quite like the old NiCad batteries or anything like that. Which is what I had in my last drill that I had, which was, probably 10 years old anyway, maybe 12. So anyway, I'll throw this in the drill, and it seems to go in pretty well. Good positive feel. It's a little loose in there, but not anything that's unserviceable, you know. Just a tiny bit of wiggle. And wow, I'm surprised it's actually got a charge in it. And you can see it's got the variable speed trigger, so if you hold it in a little bit, you can turn it slow and fast. Okay, and then I'll take a quick look at the charger. Now, of course, I don't have it plugged in, but it does have a nice long cord with it, which is nice. You'll be able to, you know, set that, you know, fairly far away from the So there is the charger. It looks like it can charge NiCad batteries, the 18-volt lithium, like I have, and then some sort of 18-volt lithium plus battery, whatever that is. Okay, I'm out here in the garage now, and I've got the charger set up and ready to go, and I've got the radio on in the background, and I've got that on for a reason. I found out that when I plug in the charger and have a battery that's in the unit, it just completely kills the radio reception. And right now I'm on an FM station. This station is a little bit far away. It's maybe about 40 or 50 miles away. But the signal is fairly strong. As you can hear, it's coming in almost full quieting. And when I plug this thing in with the battery in it, you should be able to hear there, it just completely wipes it out. The switch mode power supply in this thing is just throwing off EMI like you wouldn't believe. So when this green light is blinking, that means the battery is charging. If it was on steady, that means it would be charged. And if it was doing a slow blink or a slow fade, that means that the battery is in sort of maintain mode, and they're calling that an energy save mode. I think they're trying to get some environmentalist points there, but that's just kind of a battery float mode, I think, and really has nothing to do with energy saving. Then, of course, on the red side, a steady light means the power is just on. A blinking light means the battery is being tested. From what I saw in the manual, if you put in a really dead battery, it would go through a testing mode and the light would blink. And then if it senses that the battery is defective, then it does the slow fade or slow blink. Well, the fact that this thing does such a bad job as far as EMI shielding is a little bit disappointing. You know, I'm assuming that if I move this thing, you know, to the other side of the house, it won't bother the radio as much, but, you know, of course I want to run this thing out here in the garage and have a battery charging while I'm working on something else, and it sounds like I won't really be able to listen to the radio if that's the case, so not real happy about that. But at the same time, I'm not real surprised that that's the case. A lot of these lower end switch mode power supply battery chargers and things like that are just, you know, really not made with any sort of EMI compliance in mind, and that's really a shame. Okay, and then another interesting feature here, it did come with a bit, you know, and albeit a cheap bit, but they give you a bit with it. But another interesting thing is it looks like there's a little magnetic pad there on your on the base, so that you could put another drill bit if you wanted, or you could put a couple of screws there for easy access, and that would be handy to have, I suppose. And another thing here, which may have shown up in the camera and I didn't notice it before, is right there at the base there's also a little LED light, which again is, you know, probably somewhat useful if it's dim, but maybe more of a gimmick than anything else. You know, it probably only cost them a couple of cents to throw that thing in there and whatnot. But it, you know, here in the daylight, it's, you know, evening time. The sun's not down, but it's behind the trees, and you know, I don't see that light anywhere. So they used a fairly cheap LED. Okay, and I put the bit in there just for the heck of it, and I've got it on the lowest torque setting, and you can see that, you know, that function works. But when I do that, it feels a little on the cheap side. Not quite like a quality unit. I mean, it feels fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with it. But some of the other drills that I tested when I was in the store felt a little bit better than that. The ratcheting mechanism felt like it was just a little bit better made, but again, they cost a lot more than this one did too. So I think, you know, value for the money, this one was seemed like about the best one there. Okay, so that'll probably do it for the overview here. I mean, this thing feels like it's okay. I think it's going to do what I need it to do. It feels reasonably powerful with the 18 volt. You know, it's got a few features, and it seems fairly well made. It's not, you know, the best thing I've ever seen. The fit and finish is a little off. You can see some of the seams in the plastic just don't quite align properly. And, you know, things are just a tiny bit loose. And that's not really a complaint. I guess it's more or less what you would expect for something like this, which is, you know, probably middle of the road type quality anyway. So I think for the average homeowner, this would be fine. If I were a contractor or doing a lot of work, this may not be the best choice. But for the occasional weekend warrior and doing stuff around the house like I am, I think this thing will work fine. But those are, I guess, just my initial thoughts, you know, without actually using this thing or testing it. You know, I'm not going to have a full opinion of it, just, you know. But like with anything else, time will tell. And if I have time, I will, you know, make another review video after I've used this for a project or two, and kind of share my thoughts on how I feel about this thing after I've used it. Okay, that'll just about do it for my initial review and impressions of this Ryobi 18 volt cordless drill driver, model P1811. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to leave a comment or subscribe, feel free to do so. Thanks for watching.